where is the area where you have maximum complicatedness, mean managers. It is where the intricacy of RACI, procedures, committees, dotted lines, full lines is the densest, is the thickest. This is where all the lines cross. In the middle, you know, the lines, they start from the top. So it's simple at the top. At the bottom, operations, you have mainly full reporting lines because, you know, people who are operating machines, you want them to report solidly. You don't want them to operate the machine in a dotted way, to produce dotted goods. So all this intricacy, all this complicatedness is the densest, is the thickest in the middle. And these poor mid-managers are disempowered. You know, recently, a true story. I was, for my work, interviewing a mid-manager in charge of sales in a country. So it's a multinational company, different countries, sales manager. And she was telling me, you know, Yves, last week on the Wednesday, I was working late on something. And the head of the country, the GM, the general manager, pushed my door at about 10 p.m. And she told me, I have seen you working very late, Monday, Tuesday, tonight. What is it? What are you doing? And I told him, look, I have been asked by our regional sales director, to whom I report with a dotted line, because to you, boss, I report with a solid line. We have been asked to answer this question with this approach. And all the sales managers in the different countries reporting to this region, we have to answer this question in that way. The GM looked at the question, said, oh, that's a stupid question. He has asked you to answer. And that's a stupid way to answer the question. Then I told him, well, perhaps we should tell him because that takes a lot of my time. Perhaps you should tell the regional sales director that. Said, no, it would be too complicated. We would have to escalate. No, do it, but quick and dirty. Don't be a perfectionist because you have other things to do. What do you do when you are supposed to do something quick and dirty? Use your intelligence to moderate your intelligence and don't be a perfectionist. Do something in a dotted way. So the guy spent, and then on the Saturday, he told me, I saw my son because I had not seen my son for the whole week. I was working very late. And my son told me on Saturday, Dad, I have not seen you this week. You were working very late. Was it interesting? I didn't dare to tell him it was stupid. This is the nightmare in which we put mid-managers.
Wow.
And then we ask HR, you know, HR, human, come with solutions. And HR, we try to give them coaching lessons, but they are not as good as Marshall, you know, usually because there is one Marshall, but, you know, you have many mid-managers. We cannot offer a great coach to each of them. So you try to coach them, you know, on their personality style, their leadership style. It doesn't work. So then we try to enrich the employee value proposition, you know, to excite these poor mid-managers, and we send them surveys. What would excite you? To get a free subscription to a gym club, to receive free gym fitness equipment at home, to have concierge services for your laundry when you work late, to take cooking lessons. You know, these poor guys, this is the real issue, you know, this complicatedness.
I'm not sure, Marshall, if you if you feel a certain passion from Yves on this particular topic. There's a little bit, right? This is fascinating stuff. Thanks, Yves. No, Marshall, share some of the questions you have here.
Well, you know, my question is, I am not in the macro level transformation business. As I can tell you, I work with individuals and just try to help them have a better life and change, which is hard enough, by the way. That's not easy in and of itself. How do you get people, let's assume the CEO buys into your plan. You've got a good plan, the CEO buys into it. To me, a real challenge is how do you execute? How do you get people to stick with the plan day after day after day So as you said, it's not one of these bozo programs where everybody listens to speeches and jumps up and down and claps, and then a year later, nothing happens, right? How do you get people to actually stick with the plan so that they actually execute on the ideas that you deliver? And Martin, I don't have a clue what the answer to that question is, but it's a nice question.
It's a very nice question.
It's a very nice question. It's a difficult one. That's why between 70 and 80% of change efforts fail, by the way, because we all have a plan usually, but sticking to the plan and adjusting the plan along the way is difficult. But based on our experience, I would say that we have to, again, empower mid-manager. The frozen middle has a vital role to play in transformation. And very often, precisely, these are those that we trap in this complicated labyrinth of the organization. So by removing complicatedness as much as possible, you allow people to manage complexity. That's the whole idea. How can we enable people to face complexity? You know, what it takes to attract customers, keep customers, without spending their time, their energy, their intelligence dealing with internal complicatedness. Then they will stick to the plan. But very often along the plan, you have noise, you have disruptions that are created by this complicatedness. You know, even to take a decision based on our analysis, on average, you need 7 approvals. Even I know a company to change a light bulb in the office, you need 7 approvals from the facility manager, the supervisor, the safety manager, the compliance manager to make sure there is no corruption buying light bulbs. The technicians, the category manager, the operational buyer. How can you stick to the plan, execute the transformation strategy in the middle of this complicatedness? So remove the complicatedness, then you enable mid-managers to play their vital role. In summary, I would say.
And Eva, I have to say that you could just as well have written my book, The Minister of Common Sense. Absolutely, for sure.